Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please check it. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please check it. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Am I audible, guys? Guys, please check it. Am I audible? Are you getting my voice on screen, guys? Please confirm to me. Guys, everybody, please respond for me. All of you get my voice on screen. Please respond for me, guys. All of you, please respond for me. ఈరోజు కూడా పేపర్స్ తీసుకొచ్చేసా 7:30 7:20 తీసుకో 7 తీసుకురా. Right. Right. Good evening, guys. All right. And how you have written exam yesterday? It's not like an exam, right, sir? Are you confident on your answers? I think your papers are available with me. All right. And people have taken extra editions also. Great. Very nice. All right, sir. Then I don't want to give your names about the answer. Just I want to check how much you have written the answers there. Simple programming language. Java features are show the importance of the Java programming language. Here we observe Java has 12 features. Okay. Simple. Java programming or Java applications to take less memory and less execution time. Java programming language removed. Right, sir. See, at least you have to write these papers. At least, are you understanding yourself what you have written? Okay. Anyway, then I understood. Then your intention in that point, it is okay. It's possible. Then you can see that. Okay, but I need to check for that. What letters you have written there? That's okay. Content is okay, good, nice. And some other. Right, sir. Then what are the Java features and describe each and every Java feature? So there are 12 types of 12 features. Java features are available. They are simple, object-oriented, architecture neutral, robust, distributed, not a distribution, portable, secure, multi-threaded, high performance, dynamic, platform independent, and interpretive. Order may not be okay. No issues. In any order we can write no. Next one is simple programming language. It is a simple programming language. Why? Because Java applications will take less memory, less execution time. Java has removed all the confusion features like pointers, multiple inheritance, not multi-inheritance. Okay. Object oriented. Then one point you missed out. Java is an object-oriented programming language. Java allows to represent data in the form of objects as per the object-oriented features. Okay, nice. Only 3 points. Robust. Okay. People are not writing even all the points, no? Okay. Right, sir. And what are the Java features and describe? Okay. All right, sir. Anyway, then I will check it whenever the time is available. Definitely, I'll keep these answer sheets with me. Then I will give some time there. In the time, then I will definitely I'll talk about it. But guys, I want to implement one small program along with me. What program here I want to provide in our classes there. Just I'm going to explain my thought and try to understand the thought. Then try to give some feedback about this thought. My thought is today I'm going to discuss one topic 7 to 8:30. Sorry, 6 to 7:30. I'm taking this class. Okay. At 7:30, I want to conduct just 15 to 20 minutes of time. You have to sit here and you have to write the answers, write the answers, what you learn on the day. Today, 6 to 7:30, I'm taking the class. What I completed the topic. The topic you have to write in your paper today itself. Just listen the class. What you understand, try to put that in the respective your papers now. Then you can take that paper along with you. Go to your home. Anyway, I'm giving the taxes notes access I'm giving there. Try to compare your what you have written and with the notes. Then try to check where you have done it. Then if you follow that approach now, then you will get more clarity. Yes, sir. Am I right or not? Shall we try for this today? So that's why then what I am telling to you, recognize this. Everybody has to bring one notebook and pen every day. In the demo classes already given one notebook, right? Then try to utilize it anyway. So every day on the topic what I completed on that particular day, what I discussed, that we have to write on that notes parallelly, right? At your home, what you have to do, what you have written the notes, that notes you have to compare with my notes, whatever the notes I'm typing inside the class there, everything. Definitely, your notes, your running notes will be perfect. Everything I'm going to provide inside this. Every content I'm going to provide inside this. So you will get more content, more clarity. Guys, understand my point, what I'm telling you now. So try to compare your written information with my notes, identify where is the problem and try to rectify your confusion there now. Not only that, within 1 hour we are able to get videos now. You can check that videos also, what I explained there, if you have any doubt. If you do that, on that day you are going to prepare your topic. On that day you are going to understand the content and you are going to prepare yourself for the topic. Then it will be very good approach, I thought. Yes, sir. Shall we implement in today's session? Shall we implement that? So because of that reason, you have to concentrate more. You have to understand the content effectively. Then only you are able to understand it. Yes, sir. Am I right or not? Now, here, I want to go for this approach. Try to recognize this. Okay. Right. Now let's move on to the topic now. What exactly the content we completed there in the last class. That means yesterday's topic also here we have to include today. Just I'm going to give 2 minutes time explanation for it that we have to understand. All right, sir. In the last class, what exactly the topic here I given there? Java programming format. I given the topic is what there? Java programming format. To prepare a basic Java program, we have to use the following phases. What phases minimum we have to use there? The very first one is a comment section. First one is what there? Comment section. Second one is package section. Second one is what there? Package section. And next one is import section. Import section. Next one is classes or interfaces section. And the last one is what there? Main class section. Guys, tell me what are the various sections are available? What are the various phases are available to prepare any basic Java program? Now tell me what phases are available. First one is what? Comment section. Second one is package section. Next one is import section. Next one is classes or interfaces section. Then what next? Main class section. Good. All right, sir. Then we started with already comment section. Comment section already we started. What exactly the meaning of comment section? What is this comment section actually? In general, in Java application development, it is the convention to provide some description about our implementation before starting code. In a Java file, before writing the code, it is a convention to provide some description about our code. Here the description includes objective of the implementation, client details, other details, modules information, and so on and so on and so on. Next, here to provide description, we will use comment section where we will use comments. Where we will use comment section, inside the comment section, we have to use what there? Comments. Now tell me immediately, I given the definition for comment. What is comment, sir? Now tell me, what is this comment actually? Non-executable part of Java program. Non-executable part of Java program. In Java, how many types of comments are available? Three types of comments are available. What are the three types of comments now? Single line comment, multi-line comment, documentation comment. What is this single line comment here? It allows a description within a single line. Syntax is what there? Two slashes, then a description. Example I've given, of course. Example I've given. Next one is multi-line comment. What is this multi-line comment here? It allows the description in more than one line. It allows the description in more than one line. Syntax is some syntax here I provided. Next one. After that, examples are given. Documentation comment. What is this documentation comment actually? It allows the description in more than one page. It can be used to include the comments in Java documentation of our program. Whatever the program here we prepared there, for that program, if we prepare Java documentation, in that documentation comments data will be included. I'll show it practically, no need to worry for it. Right, then after that, in general, we will use documentation comment to prepare API documentation. Now, what is the definition here I've given there about this API documentation? No, API documentation, it is a document in the form of an HTML file or a text file or a PDF file or a doc file. It will provide description about the programming elements like variables, methods, classes, and so on, which we have used in Java applications. Answer my point clearly. Next one is after that, example I've given, Java has its own API documentation about to give description of all the classes, abstract classes, interfaces, packages, and so on, which are provided by Java. Answer my point, Ken. So here documentation comment in the sense like what I'm telling to you, slash two stars. Every line should start with what there? Star. Like this, we can write it. Then a star slash. Understand, guys, what I'm telling you. So in general, we will use documentation comments to prepare what there? In general, we will use documentation comments to prepare what there? API documentation. What is that API documentation? You know, API documentation. It is a document in the form of HTML file or a text file or what there, or a PDF file or a doc file. It will provide description about the programming elements like variables, methods, classes, and so on, which we have used in a Java application. Right, sir. Next one is what there? Java has its own API documentation about to give description of all the classes, abstract classes, interfaces, packages, which are provided by Java programming language. In the internet, already I shown Java documentation. Yesterday I shown that Java documentation. Okay, there we can see packages and all. And people are asking to me API documentation. What's the meaning of this API documentation actually? Observe carefully. API stands for Application Programming Interface. Application Programming Interface. Just it is a document where some description is available about our programming elements. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my point or not? Uh, up to now, I completed this point here. Just I required only titles of the topics what I discussed in a Java programming format. Why? Because after completion of this class, we have to write something here, right? Now tell me what we have to do there. What exactly the things here I covered here? Up to now, first of all, I've given to prepare a basic Java program. A format is required. In that format, how many parts are available? 5 parts are available. Comment section, package section, import section, classes or interfaces section, main class section. Out of these five, first four are optional. Last one is what they're mandatory. Then after comment section, we started here. Where the first point, what I've given there, no, right? It is a convention to provide some description before starting our code. The description includes author name, objective of that implementation, client details, or maybe modules details, and so on and so on and so on. We are able to provide. To provide this description, we are going to use what their comment section, where we are using comments. From that, I'm giving what their comment definition of the comment. What is the definition of the comment? You know, non-executable part of the programming. Okay, how many types of comments are available? Three types. What are the three types of comments? No, single line comment, multi-line comment, documentation comment. What is single line comment? Allows the description in a single line. What is the multi-line comment? No, allows the description in a more than one line. What is the meaning of this documentation comment? No, allows the description in a more than one page. In that way, try to form the sequence of the points. Yes, sir. Got my point or not? Right. That's okay. Fine. After understanding all the comments here, in general, we will use API doc. That means documentation comments to prepare API documentation. What is that API documentation are given? Application programming interface. It's a document in the form of HTML file or PDF file or a text file or something else. It able to provide some description about our programming elements which we have used in our program. Where the programming elements may be variables, methods, classes, and so on. Java has its own API documentation about to give description of all the classes, abstract classes, interfaces, packages, and so on, which are provided by Java. Yes, sir. All of you are getting these points or not? Okay. Try to recognize this. This you have to write today at the end of the class. Right, sir. Next onwards, next points also be put more concentration. What I'm talking with, Right. Listen carefully. I'm telling to you. If we prepare, listen carefully. If we want to prepare API documentation, if we want to prepare API documentation by using documentation comments, if we want to prepare API documentation by using documentation comments, then it may take a lot of time. It may take a lot of time. Not suggestible. What's the point I'm telling to you? If you want to prepare API documentation by using documentation comment, then it may take a lot of time, not suggestible. Got my point or not? Now, what is that alternative I'm telling there? Now understand clearly. To simplify API documentation creation or preparation, to simplify API documentation creation, Java has provided a separate tool internally to prepare API documentation. To simplify API documentation creation or preparation, Java has provided a separate tool internally. That tool, a separate tool internally, that is Javadoc tool. What is the tool, guys? Javadoc tool. Come on, what exactly the point I said to you? The point is very clear. If we want to prepare API documentation by using documentation comments, then it may take a lot of time, not suggestible. To simplify API documentation creation, Java has provided a separate tool internally. That is, what is the tool here? No, Javadoc tool. Right, sir? Shall we see practically the Javadoc tool here? How to prepare API documentation by using Javadoc tool. Can I show this program there? Can I show one simple example here? Right, definitely. We have to see that example code here I'm telling to you. Now try to understand this clearly. Some example here I'm going to provide. Now try to understand this. To prepare this particular code, I want to use one editor. Don't worry, no need to think much about this editor. No, Edit Plus. I'm going to use in the future. I'll give clarity how to use this editor there. Now, as of now, it's not required here. Try to understand this clearly. Right, sir. File new Java. Not only editor, even we can take Notepad also. There also we can try. We can type it. Okay. Now here, what I want to take there, I want to take employee. I want to take what there? Employee. Public class employee. Inside this, I want to prepare some variables. What variables can I want to prepare there? Public int env, public string ename, public float eshell, public string eaddl. Guys, now tell me how many variables can I have taken there? No, 4 variables I have taken. These are only variables. Only what I prepared here, no variables. Understand it clearly. Next one is some constructors here I'm going to take. Some constructors here. Public employee, zero argument constructor here I'm taking. Public employee. Constructor name and class name should be same. Class name is what their employee. Constructor name is what their employee. Same thing here I provided. Public employee, now this time we provided one parameter. Public employee, 2 parameters here. Next one is public employee into env comma string ename float eshell, 3 parameter. One more constructor, public employee int env comma string ename comma float eshell comma string eaddr. Right. Overall, now tell me how many constructors here we have taken there. First class employee have taken. How many variables have taken? 4 variables have taken. Then after that, how many constructors here we have taken? 5 constructors here we have taken. 5 zero argument, 1 parameter, 2 parameterized, 3 parameterized, 4 parameterized. These are the 5 constructors. Not required to think what is the purpose of the constructor, why we have written this constructor. No, not required to think about it. So 5 elements of 5 constructors are written. That number 5 is important now. Next one, after that, I want to take some methods. What methods here we are going to take there? Public void add of int env comma string ename comma float eshell comma string eaddr. This is add method. Public. Now here I need to provide like what is the public void search method. Inside this int env, like this search method is available. Public void update method into env comma string ename. Okay, float eshell string eaddr. Public void delete of into env comma string ename comma not required. To delete this only 1 parameter is sufficient here. Right, sir. Now this is like what their methods. Guys, now tell me how many methods are available here? How many methods are available? 4 methods are available. Add method, search method, update method, then what next one? Delete method. Now check this. In my class employee, what I created here? Employee class I created, but how many variables we created here? No, 4 variables. What are the 4 variables I created now? ENO, ENAME, ECell, and EADDR. Then after that, how many constructors can we provided here? 5 constructors we provided. Then after that, how many methods can we provided there? 4 methods can we provided. Is that everything is clear or not? Right, sir. Now my program, I want to save this. Observe carefully where I'm trying to save this now. Right, sir. Java 6 p.m. Java 6 p.m. is available. Am I right or not? Now here, I want to save with not here. C drive ABC. C drive ABC. Inside this location, I'm trying to save with what there? Employee.java. Employee.java. Tell me guys, all of you now tell me at which location I saved this Java file. C ABC, C colon slash ABC slash employee dot Java that we provided. Is it clear or not? Right, sir. Now observe carefully. Open command prompt. Of course, you must have Java software in your system, then only it is possible there. Not just not required to practice this one. Just I'm showing that how to create API documentation for our program. My target of using this what there, I want to prepare API documentation for my program. That's my requirement. So let me go for the location where my Java file was saved. At what location my Java file was saved? Right, CD. Then what's that one? ABC. Am I right or not? C colon slash ABC. Next one is inside this C colon slash ABC dir. What content is available there now? All right, sir. Welcome.java is available. Welcome.txt is available. I don't require this welcome.txt now. Let me remove this. C drive ABC. Just welcome.java is available. That's sufficient. Guys, observe carefully. Now for my employee.java, I want to prepare API documentation. To prepare API documentation for my employee.java, I have to use Javadoc command directly. What is the command we have to use there? Javadoc. There we have to provide what there? Employee.java. There we are able to get what there? Employee.java. Javadoc space employee.java. Click on enter button here. I think one error is available and float 23rd line. Let me check this one. Yeah. Right, sir. Now let me check once again. Javadoc employee.java. Some warnings here we are getting there. No issues, no comment, nothing, not required to worry about this one here. Finally here what we are getting there, class employee and all the details here we are getting there, everything is okay, fine. Now observe carefully, here we are getting some HTML files, am I right or not? HTML files are generated or not? Now understand it, what is the conclusion here I'm telling there before this? Observe carefully. In Javadoc tool is able to provide API documentation in the form of HTML files. In Javadoc tool is able to provide API documentation in the form of what there? HTML files. Similarly, here I'm telling to you, now if you observe this command prompt here, we are getting all what there? All the HTML files here we are getting or not? What files here we are getting, sir? Now tell me, only HTML files here we are getting there. Am I right or not? Now let me open this location here. Now here we are getting all the HTML files here. Now try to understand it now. Now here what we required here, employee.html file. Employee.html file is available or not? Now this file is required now. Just to double click on this file, automatically API documentation is coming. Of course, we have not used any package, we have not used any class like this. Only directly API documentation here we are getting. This is in the form of what there HTML file now. Now tell me, what are the various variables are available, guys? Now tell me, e name, eno, e name, ecell, and eadr. They are the various variables. Next one is how many constructors are available here now? 5 constructors are available. All the constructors details are generated here. Next, how many methods are available here now? 4 methods. All the 4 methods are existed. Variables in detailed information. Similarly, constructors in detailed constructors information. Methods in detailed methods information. All we are getting there. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? All the data here we are getting. Am I right or not? Right. So now this is what exactly the way to create API documentation. Okay. Now let me close this particular one here. API documentation here we created in this way. Okay, fine. Now I want to give clarity on this. Just for the sake of your document, I'm giving this. Now this is like what there employee.java. This is a data here we are getting on command prompt. What we have to do there? On command prompt, you have to write this information. Whatever the content here we provided there, the same. We are able to get it. But mainly here we have to provide like what there? Here we have to provide Javadoc space employee.java. The remaining part will be taken automatically. So now tell me, finally here what we understood there? We understand how to prepare API documentation for our program. We prepared API documentation for our program by using which tool? By using which command? No. Come on, what is the command we have used there? Javadoc command. By using Javadoc command only, we are able to prepare API documentation for our own program. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Okay, nice. Next one is after completion of this, another point. Observe carefully. I want to show practically these points here. Now try to understand it. Let me delete all of them except employee.java. What are the files here we generated here? Then everything I want to delete, but except what there? Employee Java file, employee.java. Okay, fine. Right, sir. Understand this, no? I want to give some comments for ENO. It represents employee number. It represents what there? Employee number. It represents employee name. It represents employee salary. It represents employee address. Guys, now tell me, for all the variables, I have used single line comment. Am I right or not? At each and every variable, what I have used there, no single line comment. Observe carefully. For employee constructor, I want to provide multi-line comment. It is 0 argument constructor. It is what there? 0 argument constructor. No parameter is defined to this constructor. Description. Now this is what comment here I have used there for method for the constructors. Now is it multi-line comment or documentation comment? Right, sir. Now it is like what there multi-line comment here we have taken. Similarly, I want to provide multi-line comments to this one, next one. Now it is a int parameterized constructor. Int parameter constructor. It takes only one parameter. It takes only one parameter. Similarly, it is a right. So then what next one here? Int comma string param constructor. It takes two parameters. That's enough, guys. Only for constructors here, three constructors are given. Multi-line comment. Remind two are not required. Just leave this one. Now this is which comment here now? Documentation comment. What's that information here I'm telling there? It will add an employee to database. Just only one line here I provided. Next one, it will search an employee in a database. Now third method here I'm telling there, it will update an employee in a database like this. Update method here. Last one is also existed here. Now let me provide this last one here. It will delete an employee from database. Yes, sir. All of you are following or not? Now tell me, in my program, total how many types of comments are provided here? No, all three types of comments here I provided. What are the three types of comments here I provided here? No, first was single line comment for all the variables. Second one is what there? Multi-line comment for what there? Some of the methods. Next one is what there? Documentation comment for all the methods, not for constructors. No. Okay. Now, after completion of this particular part here, now I want to prepare API documentation for my program. Whatever the employee.java file we have taken there, for that I want to prepare API documentation by using Javadoc command. Javadoc space, what we have to do there? No, employee.java. Right, sir. Let me click on enter button here. Warning message are okay. No need to think about it. It's okay. Now it is completed. Now let me open the documentation here. Employee documentation here I'm going to open employee.html. Now here we are getting the data. Observe carefully here. Variables data. Have you seen any commented data here for the variables? For variables, which comments we provided there? For variables, what comment here we provided in our program? Is it a single line comment or not? For variables, we provided what there? Single line comment. But have you seen any single line comment? Have you seen any single line comment along with the variables? No, no single line comment. So in the API documentation, single line comments are not going to be included. Single line comments are not included in the API documentation. Constructors I've used, guys. Now tell me here, constructors here we provided now. Have you seen for the constructors which document we provide, which comments we provided there? Multi-line comment we provided. Have you seen any multi-line comment in the provided documentation? No, single line comments are not included. Multi-line comments are also be not included. Now see this here, what we are getting there. For the methods, what comment here we provided? No, documentation comments we provided. Now the documentation comments are displayed, are visible, are available in the API documentation or not? Single line comments are not coming, multi-line comments are not coming. Then what comments are coming inside the documentation? No, documentation comments are available inside the documentation, API documentation. So this is the main intention of documentation comments. if you want to include any comment in the API documentation which is generated from Javadoc tool, there we have to use what comments there? No, documentation comments here we have to use. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? So here the point here, what I am telling to you, right, sir. Here the point here, what I am telling to you, observe carefully. In general, single line comments and multi-line comments are not included in API documentation which is generated from Javadoc tool, which is generated from what there? Javadoc tool. Then what is the specialty here? What is allowed here? No, only documentation comments allows to represent data in API documentation. Only documentation comments allows to represent data in API documentation. That means indirectly what I am telling there, documentation comment is mainly for creating API documentation or not? Providing some description about the programming elements in a documentation comment, in a document, in the sense that is because of what they know, documentation comments only. That's because of what you know, documentation comments only. Yes, all of you get my point here. So this is what exactly the meaning of like what there API documentation here, what we are getting clearly. How to prepare API documentation for our program, how to include our description about our variables inside the variables or methods or whatever it may be inside the API documentation. Just because of what there Java doc command. Yes, sir. Are you getting it or not? Now this is the point here we have to understand clearly. Next one. Okay, then if we complete this total documentation here. Now tell me guys, what exactly the point I discussed today now? Any idea what I completed there? What I completed there in today no? In a comment section, after understanding all the types of comments there, what is the purpose of the documentation comment I have given? The main intention of the documentation comment is to prepare API documentation for our application. But to prepare API documentation for our application by using documentation comments, it may take a lot of time, not suggestible. So we're to simplify API documentation creation. We're to simplify API documentation creation. Their Java has provided an internal tool. The Java has provided an internal tool. That is what they know. Java doc command. Right, sir. Next one is after that, after understanding this particular point, no, how we are able to prepare API documentation by using Java doc command. First, what we have to do there, we have to write our program first. First, we have to write the program employee.java written where variables, methods, and constructors are taken. Then after that, I have used a command prompt. I have used. I went to the location where we have used, where we saved our Java file. In that location, we have used what there Java doc command name. Java doc space file name dot Java. Java doc space file name dot Java. Got my point or not? So whenever we provide it like this and a file name dot Java along with the Java doc, automatically it able to prepare what there API documentation for our program. Next, what is that another point I'm telling there? After getting this, which commented data is available inside the API documentation, which is generated from like what the documentation comment, what it is available here. All right, sir. Understand this point clearly. Single line comments and multi-line comments are not included in API documentation, which is generated from Java doc tool. Only documentation comments allowed to represent data in API documentation, which is generated from Java doc tool. So if any document is generated from Java doc tool where only documentation comment data is existed, single line comment and multi-line comment data is not going to be existed. Yes, guys, all of you are getting this point or not? No, these are the points here we understood clearly. Next, one more point I'm telling you, now try to understand it. No, in Java applications, all of you observe carefully. in Java applications to represent metadata. To represent what there? Metadata. Simply, what is this metadata actually? Data about the data. Metadata is what, sir? Now tell me, data about the data. That means now here we are getting data about our program or not? In the form of API documentation, we are getting what there? Data about the program or not? Understand guys what I'm telling you now? Data about the program here. Now observe carefully. So in Java applications to represent metadata, that is data about the data, JDK 1.5 version has provided an alternative, that is JDK 1.5 version has provided an alternative, that is what is it actually? Annotations. Yes, sir, got my point or not? In Java applications to represent metadata, data about the data, some description, whatever it may be, to represent some description, okay, data about the data, or what I'm telling there, description, some description, JDK 1.5 version has provided an alternative in the form of what they know? Annotations. This is what exactly the requirement to go for what their annotations. Then immediately we have one important interview question. We have one important interview question, guys. Observe carefully. What is my question here? In Java applications, to provide a description, we have already comments. In Java applications, to provide description, we have already comments. Then what is the requirement to use annotations? Then what is the requirement to use what there? Annotations. Right, sir. In Java applications, to provide description, we have already comments. We have already comments. Then what is the requirement to use annotations? Then what the requirement is to use annotations? Have you understood my question, guys? What exactly the question I have given there? All of you understand this? No response. All right, sir. So what is the question here now? To provide some description in Java applications, what is available? Comments are already existed. How many types of comments are available? Three types of comments. What are the three types of comments now? Single line comment, multi-line comment. Then what next one? No, documentation comment. So these many types of comments are existed in Java to prepare what there and to provide some description. Then immediately the question is what there? What is the requirement to use annotations? What is the need of using annotations? Previously I said to you, in Java applications to provide some description, JDK 1.5 version has provided an alternative, that is what there? Annotations. But here my question is, already we have comments there. What is the requirement to go for annotations? That's the question, guys. Now, if we want to answer for this question, here we have to understand some diagrammatic. That means previously we prepared one diagram there. That one also here we have to understand. Then only we are able to understand this point scale. Now understand this. What exactly the diagram here we required here? Right, no problem. Now here we have the diagram there. Previously, at very starting point, I prepared this diagram. You might be remembering the diagram here. Right, this part, this diagram here I required. First understand this, then after that we'll go for what they know, other content here now. All right, sir. In this diagram, what exactly the point I'm telling to you? First, I have taken .java file. Then after that compilation here we are performing. After the compilation, we are getting what there? .class file. After the .class file, here what we are getting there? Execution. Then we are getting output. Now observe carefully. Whenever we have taken compilation, insert the compilation again, how many phases are available here? 4 phases are available. Of course, preprocessor is not existing in Java. That one also here we represented: compiler, assembler, loader, link editor. Next one is what there after that. Compiler, if we take now, inside the compiler, how many phases are available? Inside the compiler, how many phases are available? 6 phases are available. What are the 6 phases here now? Lexical analysis phase. Next one is what there? Syntax analysis phase. Next one is what there? Semantic analysis phase. Next one is what there? Intermediate code generation. Then what next one? Code optimization. Then after that, code generation. These are overall 6 number of phases are existed. Everybody understand my point? Now, in this example now, what I required here, lexical analysis phase is required. To answer for my question, what's the need to go for annotations over the comments? No, here I have to understand what their lexical analysis phase. What exactly the job of the lexical analysis phase? What it able to do now? What it able to do? That example here we have to understand. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Right, sir. Now I'm giving one point here. I'll try to understand it. No, whenever we are compiling our Java file, automatically the first phase is what their compiler. Compile is the first phase in the sense, then what is the first phase here? No, lexical analysis phase. Lexical analysis phase is what there? No, the first phase here. No, right, sir. All of you observe carefully. I'm going to give some clarity. Everybody understand this one clearly. What I'm telling to you. For example, I compiled my Java program. When we compile our Java program, lexical analysis phase will perform 2 activities. On our program, lexical analysis phase will perform 2 things. What 2 things? No, point number 1, read the total source program. Whatever the .java file is available here, no, get the data from .java file and store the total Java program into a buffer. Internally buffers are used there. First, to read the total Java program from source file, store the total Java program into what there? A buffer. So keeping Java program from source file to buffer is called as what there? Buffering. Is called as what there? No, buffering. Answer my point clearly. Okay, then buffering was completed. My total Java program is available inside what there? No, buffer, inside a buffer. Right, whenever my Java program is available inside a buffer, then what my lexical analysis phase will do there? It will divide the total Java program, the total source program into number of pieces. It will divide the total Java program into number of pieces. Get my point or not? Yes, sir. What happened? Yeah, come first. The total Java program is divided into number of pieces. Am I right or not? Where each and every piece is called as a token. Each and every piece is called as what there? A token. Finally, collection of tokens are generated. How many tokens are available? Java program in the sense of big program. Might be number of tokens are available. Even if we take a class employee, class is one token and employee is another token. Curly brace is another token. Public static void main, public one token, static another token. Like this, the total program is divided into the number of pieces where each and every piece is called as a token. Finally, stream of tokens are generated as an output from lexical analysis phase. So I want to conclude this point here. What is the conclusion I'm telling to you? Know, lexical analysis phase is responsible for 2 actions. One is buffering. Second one is tokenization. Second one is what there? Tokenization. What is the meaning of buffering, sir? Now tell me. Reading Java program from .java file to that buffer. That is called as buffering. Next, dividing the Java program into number of pieces where each and every piece is called as what there? A token. Like this, how many tokens are generated? No, stream of tokens are generated. So the process of generating tokens, from a source program is called as what there? Tokenization. Yes, clear to all of you? Tokenization. Here we are getting clearly. Okay, fine. Listen, put more concentration here what I am telling to you. I prepared a Java program. Inside the Java program, I have provided some comments, single line comment or multi-line comment or documentation comment, whatever it may be. I provided some comments in my Java program. I compiled my Java program. I compiled my Java program. When I compiled my Java program, immediately, what is the job of the lexical analysis phase? No, two responsibilities. What are the two responsibilities? No, buffering. Next one is what there? Tokenization. What is this buffering actually? Reading data from .java file, storing the data into a buffer. That is called as what there? Buffering. Then after that, what second phase? No, tokenization. That is generating tokens from the Java program. Am I right or not? Exactly. In this particular point, what's the point I'm telling you? Know, whenever tokenization is performing, when a tokenization is performed, at the time of performing tokenization, what lexical analysis phase will do? No, while performing tokenization, lexical analysis phase will remove all the comments what we provided in our Java program. While performing tokenization, lexical analysis phase will remove the comments which we provided in our Java program. So tokens will be generated without the comments. Tokens will be generated from the actual program only, not for the comments. Now tell me, this tokenization is performed by lexical analysis phase. Lexical analysis phase is a part of the compilation or not? Lexical analysis phase is a part of the compiler, that is part of the compilation or not? It means that if we provide comments in our Java program, that comments are removed by lexical analysis phase as part of the compilation or not? Then comments are not going to be available after the compilation in our Java program or not? Comments are not going to be available in the Java program after the compilation or not? Answer my point here. Once the comments are not available after the compilation of the Java program, it means that comments are not going to be available at the runtime of the application or not. Comments are not available at runtime of our applications or not. So, what is the life of the comments in the Java programs? No, the life of the comments in Java programs are up to compilation only. They are not going to be available after the compilation. They are not going to be available in the .class file. They are not going to be available up to runtime of our application. Comments are having scope up to the compilation process only. Moreover, comments are provided for the sake of user flexibility or not. For better understanding of our program only, comments are available. But what is the need of these comments in .class file? The .class file anyway, developer is not going to read the .class file. Developer is going to read only .java file. For the sake of understanding of developer only, the comments are provided. So not required to provide the comments and its description in a .class file and at runtime of our application. So finally, what I require the conclusion here, if we provide comments in our Java program, the comments are going to be available with our Java program up to compilation only. After compilation of our program, the comments are not going to be existed with our program. Yes, guys, all of you are getting my points now? But I have a requirement. I have a small requirement. If I want to simplify my debugging of my program, if I want to simplify testing of my program, if it is a server side application, my server is required some description about my program. If it is a database related application, some framework I am using there, that framework at runtime, I require some description about my program. Understand my other requirements now? If you want to simplify debugging process, if you want to simplify testing of your application, or if it is a server side application, or if it is a database related application, in all these many cases now, whatever the description we are providing inside the Java program, that description I required up to .class file, I required the description up to runtime. In some situations, I need the description up to .java file and up to .class file and up to runtime of my application. I need the description. But if I provide the description with the comments, no, then what will happen? If I provide the description along with the comment, then what will happen? The description is going to be available up to compilation only. That is up to .java file only, not available to .class file, not available to runtime of our application. But what is my requirement here? My requirement is to bring a description up to .java file, up to .class file, and up to runtime of my application. If we want to bring the description of our program up to .java, up to .class, and up to runtime of our application, we are going to use annotations over the comments. We have to use what their annotations over what their comments. If we use comments, that the description lifetime is what there up to compilation. But if we use the annotations, no, the description will be provided up to .java file, up to .class file, and up to what they know runtime of our applications. Guys, all of you are following these points, no? What exactly the point I'm telling to you, no? Now try to observe this clearly. So now here we are going to understand this point now clearly. All right, sir. Now here we have to observe this point clearly. Whatever the point here I'm telling to you. Now here the question is very clear. What was the question here I've asked you there? In Java applications to provide description, we have already comments. Then what is the requirement to use what there? Annotations. Then where answer I'm giving there, try to understand it now. If we use comments and a description, or else if we provide description along with the comments, description along with the comments, if we provide description along with the comments in Java applications, if we provide description along with the comments in Java applications, then comments and its a description, comments and description is existed up to compilation of the program. Comments and its description is existed or existed. Comments and description are existed up to the compilation of the program. Up to compilation of the program. Not possible. Not possible up to .class file. Not possible up to .class file. And up to runtime. Up to runtime of the application. Up to runtime of the application. Observe carefully, guys. What is the point I'm telling there? If we provide description along with comments in Java applications, then comments and its description are existed up to compilation of the program, not possible up to .class file and up to runtime of the application. And the extension here, what I'm telling to you. Now tell me what is the next point here I have to specify there? What is the next point here I have to specify there? All right, sir. As per the requirements like, to simplify debugging process, comma, to simplify testing process, comma, if the application is server side application, comma, if the application is database related application or any frameworks related application, understand my point here. As per the requirements like to simplify debugging process, to simplify testing process, or if the application is server side application, or if the application is a database application, what happens, sir? The database, if the application is what there, database related applications or any frameworks related application, or else any framework related application, then we have to provide data. Then we have to provide data, provide description, not data, description up to .java file, comma, up to .class file, and up to what they know, runtime, up to runtime of our application. Get my point or not? So because of these many requirements, no, we have to bring our description up to runtime of our application. All right, so the point here, what I am telling to you, in the above context, to bring description up to .java file, comma, up to .class file, and up to runtime, up to what the runtime of our applications, we have to use what we have to use, you guys know what is that alternate now? Tell me. We have to use what their annotations instead of what they know. Instead of comments, we have to use what their annotations. That's the requirement to go for what their annotations. This is damn sure question for both freshers and as well as what there for experienced people. If you want to give 3 to 4 years of experience, then definitely it is mandatory. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Right. Now let's understand this clearly. What are the points here I'm telling to you? My answer is very much clear. Now try to understand it. No. In Java applications to provide description, we have already comments. Then what is the requirement to use annotations? Guys, now tell me. You only give the answer for my question here. What is the problem with the comments? No. What is the problem with the comments, guys? Now tell me. If we provide description along with the comments, then what is the lifetime of the comments and its description? The lifetime of the comments and its description up to compilation only, that is up to .java file only. But for a simplification of the testing process, for a simplification of the debugging process, and if the application is a server side application, or if the application is a framework related application, or if the application is a database related application, we have to bring some description up to .java file, up to .class file, and up to what their runtime of our applications. Yes, sir. Got my point or not? Up to .class file, up to .java file, up to runtime of our application. Understand, guys? What I'm telling there now. All right, sir. Now to bring that means to bring a description up to .java, up to .class, and up to runtime of our application. There we have to use a separate new feature provided by JDK 1.5 version. That feature is what their annotations. Simple point. Comments are not available up to runtime. Annotations are available up to what their runtime now. Yes, getting my point here. Comments are available up to .java file only, but annotations are available up to .java, .class, and up to what their runtime of our applications. Because of that reason, here we have to go for what their annotations. Right, sir. If we give this much of answer to that interviewer question now, if we give this much of answers to that interviewer question now, there we are able to get one more question from interviewer. Interviewer may ask one more question there. What is that? Another question here we are able to get there. Understand it now. Listen carefully. To bring metadata or description, to bring what they know description, to bring description up to runtime, we have already to bring a description up to runtime. We have already XML documents. We have already what they know XML documents. Then what is the requirement to use annotations? Guys, everybody understand this point clearly. To bring a description up to runtime, we already have XML documents. Then what is the requirement to use what they know annotations? Previously, the differences between comment and annotation, if you observe this, commented data is not possible up to runtime, but annotation data will be possible up to what their runtime. Then in the sequence, consequence question here I'm asking there. To provide a description up to runtime, already we have already what we have already there no XML documents. Then what is the requirement to use annotations? This is the question, guys. Here we have to understand. Is that clear? Clear to all of you know? All right, now I want to give some answers to try to understand it. Before that, there is a buffer, a file in which we are storing the source file in buffering. of lexical analysis. Yeah, of course we can understand in the compilation process, whatever the source file we have taken .java file, in the compilation process, data will be taken out. The data will be stored in the form of some temporary memory. Allocate temporary memories. The temporary memory is nothing but what their buffer. Their tokenization is going on. Buffering and tokenization both are going to be performed parallelly. One line will be buffer, the tokens will be generated. Next line will be buffer, tokens will be generated. Third line will be buffered. Next, that means tokens will be generated. In that way, parallelly, that buffering and as well as tokenization both are going to be performed here. Okay, understand it. So finally, stream of tokens will be generated. Right, leave this one. Now let's answer for this question here. Now I'm asking one question to all of you. Now try to understand this. XML. Can you tell me what is the abbreviation for XML? Extensible Markup Language. Is it Java technology or non-Java technology? XML is related to Java or not related to Java? Part of the Java or not the part of Java? Java or non-Java? Yes, sir. At least guess it. Is part of the Java or not inside the Java? Anyway, answer for this question is no. XML is different, Java is different. As per the Java program's requirement, in some situations we are using XML. Otherwise, XML is totally different technology and Java is a different technology. The point is, XML was provided by some other company, some other, but Java was provided by Sun Microsystems. Initially, no relation between XML and Java. XML is not Java. XML is not Java. XML is a non-Java. Yes, sir. Got my point or not? Now observe carefully. Here I am telling one point here. I am telling there. Listen carefully. To provide, guys, observe carefully. To provide description up to runtime. To provide description up to runtime, if you use XML documents, then we are able to get the following problems. I'm going to explain to you now, try to understand this clearly. Then here we are able to get what the following problems. What problems are available here? Now try to understand it. No. Point number one. That's why I'm asking to you. XML is non-Java programming language. XML is what they're not related to Java. XML is a markup language, but Java is a programming language. XML is what their markup language, but Java is what their programming language. XML is mainly for data representation, but Java is mainly for data processing. Data will be processed inside the Java program, but inside the XML, processing is not available. Only text or represented data. Only data will be represented inside the XML. Representation is different, processing is different. Yes, guys, all of you get my point or not? All right, sir. Now let's understand this clearly. The first point is what there. Java developers must learn XML. Java developers must learn XML technology. Java developers must learn XML technology separately. Separately, they have to join for some other course like XML in any institute. Why? Because by default, it is not included inside the Java. Sir, all of you getting my point or not? So this is the first point. So this is an extra burden to the developers. This is what their extra burden to the developers. So not recommended here. No. This is point number one. Second point. Now observe carefully. If you want to use XML document to provide description at runtime, first in our Java program, in our project, or maybe in our system hard disk, first we have to prepare an XML file or not. Inside that XML file, we have to provide data with along with XML tags or not. So finally, XML document is existed. Am I right or not? So before using that XML document in our Java program, before using XML document in our Java program, you have to check. You must check whether this XML document is in a well-formed format or not. Before using XML file for our Java applications, first we have to check whether this XML document is in a well-formed format or not. To check whether that XML document is in well-formed format or not, a set of rules and regulations are available. For the entire document, a single root tag must be existed. This is one of the rule for well-formedness. For every open tag, there must be a closed tag. This is the second rule. We must provide attribute values there. Attributes we have to provide as per the DTDs or maybe as per what their XSDs. So a set of rules and regulations are available for what their XML document here. So what is the point I'm telling there? We must check every time. We must check every time whether the provided XML document is in well-formed format or not. Well-formed format or not. That means whatever the rules and regulations are available to check whether the document is in well-formed format or not, then all the rules and regulations here we have to check. That is one point here. Next, point number 3. Okay, now the document is in well-formed format, no problem. But every time using that XML document in our Java application, every time we have to check whether that XML file is located at a proper locations or not. If the XML document is not available in a proper location, there we are able to get file not found exception. Before using XML document in our Java application, every time we have to check whether this XML document is in a well-formed format or not. If it is in well-formed format, then only we are able to use the document in our applications. Not only that, whether this XML document is available at the right locations or not. If it is not in right locations now, then we are able to get file not found exception. So that developer has to check every time now. So every time developers must check whether the provided XML document must be available at the right locations or not. If it is not available at right location, there we are able to get what there file not found exception. Java program is unable to read the data from this particular one. Sir, all of you get my point or not? Right, sir. Then every time developers must check whether the provided XML document must be available at right locations or not. That is one point here. Next term. Okay, my document is well-formed format document. My document is available at right locations or not. Then after that, I have to read data from XML document to Java program or not. After getting clarity of my XML document, then I have to read data from XML document to Java program or not. Using data from XML file to Java application. That's our concept here. So after checking all this now, I have to read data from XML document to Java program or not. To read data from XML document to Java program, there we are going to use parsing mechanisms. What mechanisms we have to use there? Parsing mechanisms, or simply speaking, parsers we are going to use. The parsing mechanisms are available with the parsers. So some parsers here we have to use. But here, so many parsers are available. Not like one parser. So many parsers are available. So here the point is what there. Every time we have to check whether we are using right parsing mechanism or not. Every time we have to check whether we are using right parsing mechanism or not to read data from XML document. Guys, all of you understand this clearly? Every time we have to check whether we are using right parsing mechanism or not to read data from an XML document. Parsing mechanisms we are going to use to read data from XML file to Java program. So that whether we are using right parsing mechanism or not, right parser or not. So many parsers are available. Right, DOM parser is available, SAX parser is available, XPath or something else. Different parsers are available here. Every time we have to check whether we are using right parser or not. So these many headaches are available for Java developers if you want to use what their XML documents in our applications. Guys, now tell me what is our question here now? To bring description up to runtime, we already have XML documents. Then what is the requirement to use annotations? Then here what is the answer here now? To provide description up to runtime, if we use XML documents, then we have to get the following problems. What problems here we are getting there? First one is what there? Java developers must learn what their XML technology. Second one is what there we must check every time whether the provided XML document is in a well-formed format or not. Is in well-formed format or not. Every time developers must check whether the provided XML document must be available at right locations or not. Every time we have to check whether we are using right parsing mechanisms or not to read data from XML document. But all these things we have to do explicitly if we are using XML document for our applications. Now here my point is what there to overcome all the above problems, we need a Java alternative. Got my point or not? To overcome all the above problems, what we need here now? A Java alternative we need. Then what is the Java alternative here now? The Java alternative is what they know? Annotations. The Java alternative is what, guys? Now tell me. Annotations. But how to declare annotations, how to access the data from annotations, that we will discuss separately in annotations topic. Just here we are having the concept like metadata or description. That's why I'm giving up to all these points. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my points or not? Now let's understand this what we completed here in today's session. Now, what exactly the content here we completed there. I will look on this particular topic here. Now today, just I started with like what there API documentation topic here we discussed it here. Am I right or not? All right, sir. Now here I have given some information there. If you want to prepare API documentation by using documentation comments, then it may take a lot of time, not suggestible. To simplify API documentation creation, Java has provided a separate tool internally. That is what there, Javadoc tool. All right, sir. In Java, Javadoc is able to provide API documentation in the form of what files there? No, HTML file. One example already I've taken there. So many variables, methods, constructors I've taken. All the content here I've taken there. That's okay, fine. Then where I given Javadoc space of file name dot Java automated API documentation here we are getting. Then one more point I'm giving there. In general, single line comments and multi-line comments are not included in API documentation which is generated from Javadoc tool. Only which comments are included in the Java documentation? No, only documentation comments allows to represent data in API documentation which is generated from Javadoc tool. Guys, are you able to understand the document what I have given here? Is it in clear form for you? All right. Next one is after that, in Java applications to represent metadata, that is data about the data or description, JDK 1.5 version has provided an alternative, that is what there, annotations. Now here immediately we are getting a question. What about our question here? In Java applications to provide a description, we have already comments. We have already an alternative like what are their comments. Then what is the requirement to use annotations? Now you only tell me, guys, what is the answer for this question now? If we provide description along with the comment, then what is the lifetime of that comments and its description now? Up to compilation, that is up to .java file. That comments and its description will not be available in a class and as well as what the runtime. Why? Because lexical analyzer has removed comments from the source program part of the compilation. But as per the requirements like to simplify debugging, to simplify testing, or in the case of server-side applications, or in the case of frameworks applications, or in the case of like what are the database related applications, we need to bring metadata or description up to runtime of our application. So to bring metadata or description up to runtime of our application, we have already XML documents. Then what is the requirement to use annotations? In Java applications, if we use XML documents, then we are able to get the following problems. What problems here we are getting there now? Tell me. Java developers must learn XML technology. We must check every time whether the provided XML document is in a well-formed format or not. Every time developers must check whether the provided XML document must be available at right locations or not. Every time we have to check whether we are using the right parsing mechanism or not to read data from the XML document. To overcome all the above problems, we need a Java alternative, that is what there, annotations. Right, sir. Now this is what exactly the meaning of like what there, annotations. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my points or not? All right, so then shall we continue the remaining important tomorrow? Right. What about your exam? Just 20 minutes. What do you understood today? Right from what there, Java programming format topic is available. So better to write some content. Better to write content and better to submit that content to us. Yes, sir. I think your faces are not good. Huh? Why? Just what you understand, just write it. Understand here? Then what I'm telling there, what you understand, write it. Even I'm giving this much of topics there, right? But I need to get some authenticity, whether you are understanding or not. Come on, make it fast. Then tomorrow onwards, what we have to do? Notebook and pen mandatory. At the end of the class, what you are learning, the topic we have to understand. That we have to write in our book. At our home, what we have to do? At your home, what we have to do? Whatever the document we have written there, that you have to compare with my document, whether that all the points are covered or not. If any point is missing, there we can refer it. And that will be good approach. And guys, tomorrow no class. Tomorrow, excuse for this. Monday, next class will be on Monday. Monday, I'll go for what their continuation of this topic. Almost all we completed comment section. Almost all we completed what their comment section. So better do come for what there on Monday. Then no class on tomorrow max. Right. First of all, write the information what we understood. Yes, sir. Anything else? A question you are asking, no? Asking about any question, no? Then prepare your own question. Yeah, the question is what there? Java programming format title. Java programming format. Or I think so. One more question is available. I think you forgot that. Java naming conventions. Have you written that? Java naming conventions. Have you understand that? Okay. Now keep the side Java naming conventions. From that point onwards, you have to write the content. Okay, no problem. First one is and second one. Anything we can write. Java programming format is the first one. Next one we have to write what there? Java naming conventions. Both we have to complete. Seriously, I'm telling to you, I will check your answers there. But if anything is wrong, then I'm able to correct it. I'm able to give information, but not like that. But today onwards, what I'm telling there, write the data, try to compare the data with the document at your home so that you are able to get some clarity. Guys, and those who are in online, just the topic name is what there, Java programming format, and try to write the data and send the data to send our text file. Please try to take one text file where we have to type the data, then send the data to Durgasoft offline at gmail.com so that I can check it. So take one text file where keep the side heading is what there. Like side heading is Java programming format. Then what you understand there, try to really write that content there. Then send that content to Durgasoft offline. Durgasoft offline at gmail.com. Then I will show. I will check this. And annotations part I will discuss once again. Annotations part I will discuss with you guys once again. What exactly the meaning of annotations, then how to declare annotations programmatically and how to access the data from annotations and everything I will discuss with you. Don't need to worry for it. Okay, now try to collect it. Okay. Tomorrow morning advance class at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8. That means guys, then which advance we are attending there? 10 o'clock batch or 7 o'clock batch? 7. 7 o'clock batch is at 7 only, 7 to 8:30 only, as usual, regular. 7 to 8:30 only tomorrow. Okay.
Guys, please send your answer sheets to durgasoft@gmail.com. Guys, am I audible? Please send your answer sheets to durgasoft@offline.com. I'm ending the webinar, guys. Please send your answer sheets to durgasoft@offline@gmail.com. Okay.